Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Candela. I'm a hypnotherapist and a transformation coach. Welcome to my channel. You're about to listen to a recording of one of my regression sessions. Enjoy. I want you to tell me the very first thing that you see below you, or the very first impression that you have as you reach the surface.
It's a field of green grass, cultivated green grass.
Do you see anything at a distance?
There's a house. It's off in the distance to the side a little bit.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is look down at where your feet would be and tell me what you're wearing on your feet.
Some type of brown shoe. It's like a leather or something. It goes up to my knees. It's really basic. It's like tied together at the sides with other leather like moccasins, like that style.
Okay. And become aware of your body now and tell me what you're wearing on your body.
Leather, like a big jacket, almost like a blanket. I don't recognize what it is. It's like a wrap, like deer hides.
Are you in a male or female body?
It's a male body.
Young or old?
It's middle-aged.
About what age is that?
35.
Are you healthy?
I am.
So become aware of your body again and tell me if there's anything else that you have on you.
I have a fur cap on my head. I can only see my hands from my skin. Everything else is wrapped up like it's cold. My hands are worn. They're farmer's hands. They're tanned heavily, wrinkled to dry.
Become aware of why you are standing in that grass field.
I think I was walking. It doesn't belong to me, nor does that house. I was appreciating the way the field looked, the green against the bright blue sky.
How does it feel outside right now?
Cool, but not cold, like spring.
And become aware now of where you're heading.
I was heading into town on a path that goes through the woods behind me.
And where are you coming from?
My home.
And how far is the town from your home?
Not far. Maybe a quarter-day walk.
Okay. And what are you going to do in town?
I need supplies.
What kind of supplies?
The things I can't make.
Can you name some of the things you will be getting?
I need like nails and sugar. It's not a very long list. I feel like I'm going into town not only to buy supplies, but to be around people.
So as I count to 3, I'd like you to move to your destination. 1, 2, and 3. See yourself in town and tell me how things are going.
I'm in a market. It's very rustic. They're not really permanent stalls, like things they throw up for the day. It's loud. There are a lot of people.
Can you tell me how people are dressed?
Kind of like me. They wear animal skins for warmth. People have like deer hide boots. They have woven long sleeve shirts. They're tied at the throat. Some of them have cloaks but they're not long. They only go to their waist or so. It's springtime. It's muddy. Like it's getting warmer, but it hasn't gotten warm yet. It's just not as cold. There's a lot going on. There are a lot of people.
So is this a big town?
No, it's small, but everybody's there.
Does this town have a name?
Joel. Joul.
And so once you get the supplies that you need, what do you do?
I have my stuff. It's in a bag over my shoulder. I hesitate. I want to stay and do something and be around people, but I also crave the comfort of home, of being by myself and silent.
So before you decide what to do, can you tell me how you paid for the supplies that you got?
Coins. They're thick.
So what do you decide to do?
I decided to go to a tea shop.
So go ahead and enter that tea shop and tell me what you see there.
There's like a bell on the door. When I walked in, it rang. It smells like tea. Loose leaf tea. It's everywhere. All kinds in canisters. Doesn't look like a place where you sit down and have tea. You go in and buy tea, but you can sit down if you want.
And what do? Do you buy it to drink or to go?
I buy some, a lot, to take home, but they offer me a cup to have, and I take it.
What does the cup look like?
It's just a round, shallow cup. It has no handle. I cup it in a hand or with my fingertips and sip on it. I look out the window, just taking comfort in the warmth.
Are there people that you can talk to?
There's a shop person, but they're busy. There's another shop person. They're stocking shelves, kind of ignoring me, but not maliciously.
So you come into town to have some social interaction with other people?
Yes, so I'm lonely.
You live by yourself?
I do.
Is there a reason for that?
I just haven't met anyone to take home.
I see. So usually when you come out to town, where do you get to interact with people?
At the market. The people that sell things, the people that buy the things.
Do you chat with them?
I do.
Does it come easy to just strike a conversation?
Not to strike it. To keep it, it comes easy.
Did you get to talk to anybody in the market today?
Yes, one person. He was selling fruit.
Did you buy something from him?
I did.
What did you get from him?
It was like an orange, but it wasn't an orange. A grapefruit.
So after you finish the tea, what happens?
I give them the cup. I thank them and I go outside. I still don't want to go home. I feel like I want to buy something for myself that isn't needed but would be nice to have. And I go to the blacksmith. It's like a open place. It's almost catty-cornered to the tea shop. And the guy's working outside. You can hear the tinging of his hammer. And there's a door you can go inside. It's like a shop. And it sells knives and hammers, axes.
Is there something there that catches your eye?
There's an axe. It's shiny. It's sharp. It's well made. It's well balanced. It's not really a working man's axe. It's a luxury axe, like something to be proud to have.
Is it something that you would use as decoration in the house?
I'd use it for wood, not to chop wood. It's smaller, it's like a hatchet size. I picture myself shaving branches for kindling with it.
Mm-hmm. So this is something that you don't really need, but you want to have?
I like it. It looks nice. I appreciate it, but I don't want it. It's frivolous.
Is it expensive?
Yes. I can afford it, but it's frivolous.
Do you only allow yourself to get things that are necessary?
Typically.
And this acts, would it bring you joy?
Only for a short time.
So what do you decide to do then?
I keep looking at what else is in the room. He has swords, but I don't need that. Nobody should really need that.
What are swords used for nowadays?
Nothing really. There's no conflict. It's peaceful in the area. It's more of a thing to have, just to have it. There's some hand knives I look at, daggers, but they look like they're just for work around the house.
Do you find something that is just right?
No, I'm chiding myself for wanting to spend the money. That's distracting me.
What is distracting you?
The money. The wanting to spend it.
What is it distracting you from?
Looking at the things intently. I feel like I'm looking, but I'm not focusing.
So you're feeling strongly that you just want to spend money?
Yes.
And why do you feel that way?
Because it'll make me happy briefly.
Why is that?
It's something new. It's a change. It's different. That's why.
Having this new thing would be a change?
Yes.
And you don't usually have a lot of exciting new things?
No.
So do you live comfortably? Do you have enough money then?
I don't have a lot of money, but I don't lack for it. I'm comfortable because I have things necessary to live.
It sounds like you feel a little bored with your life.
It's predictable.
So become aware of what you do for a living.
I forage. I trap. I sell skins. Extra food I have that I can't eat. Sometimes firewood, but I don't like dragging it into town. It's not worth it to me. I get more money from the animal skins and the food I forage.
What do you forage for?
Berries, mushrooms, herbs, garlic, green plants, I don't know. They're herbs of some kind. And then small animals like rabbits and squirrels. I trap for deer. I shoot with a bow and arrow.
So you said you take some of it into town.
Yes.
How'd you bring it into town?
I'll bring it in a bag. If it's heavy, I have a sled that I drag behind me.
You don't have an animal that pulls the sled?
No, I don't have any animals.
So return your awareness back to that blacksmith shop. Do you, in the end, get anything there?
I don't. I talk to the blacksmith about his work and compliment him on it. He gives me something small. It's in my hand. It's metal. It's like a tool of some kind, like a scraper. It's to finally shave wood.
Why did he give it to you?
I was telling him about the axe I liked, that I thought it looked really sharp, and that I bet it shaved wood easily. He laughed and said yes, but that's not how it should be used. He didn't make it to be a tool. He made it like an ornament, but it's still functional.
So the tool that he gives you, is that a gift?
Kind of like a gift of pity or condensation, but there's kindness behind it. He's nice.
Do you accept it?
I do. It makes me happy that he was so kind.
Oh, good. Now you said that you haven't found anybody to bring home to be with. When you meet people, do you look for a companion?
No.
Do you want to find someone?
Yes.
And how would you look for someone?
I'd go to the tavern. It's the only place in town where people gather socially on a consistent basis. But I live far away out of town, and I don't like staying there at night because I don't want to walk home in the dark.
And in this tavern, is it just men, or is it men and women that come there?
There are men and women. It's a family place. It's just a local place for the town to gather and share fellowship. There's food and drink, but it's not a place where people get drunk. It's not like a bar. The wine and the beer, it's all watered down. It doesn't make you intoxicated, really, but it can if you want it to. That's not the purpose of it.
After you leave the blacksmith, where do you head then?
To the tavern now. I'm hungry. I want something hot to eat.
And what do you get there?
This pie thing. It's in my hand. There's meat of some kind and vegetables like potatoes, and it has like a gravy, and it's hot. It's good. I can't make it.
And it's inside a crust, like a pie?
Yeah, like a hand pie.
How do they serve it to you?
They wrapped it in something like a disposable type of paper, but it's not paper.
And do you take it to go, or do you sit down there to eat?
I sit down on this wood table with a bench. I get a mug of beer and eat it slowly. I'm shy. There are people around. I want to be a part of the conversation.
Do you hear what they're talking about?
Their families. They're talking about their lives. It makes me sad.
Do you want to have a family?
Yeah.
How would you go about finding someone?
I don't know how, other than putting myself in the social situations. I don't have family to introduce people to me.
So I'm guessing your parents passed away.
They're dead.
Did you have any siblings?
No.
Any other relatives?
No.
I see. Did you always live in that area?
No.
Where did you used to live?
In a different place.
So become aware of why you came to live in that area where you live now. Why did you move from the place where you lived with your parents?
My parents died when I was young.
How young were you?
6 or 7.
What happened when you were left an orphan?
A neighbor took me in, but wasn't happy about it. They did it because they felt like they had to. Otherwise, I'd die.
How did they treat you?
They resented me.
Did they mistreat you?
They didn't. Not physically, but I didn't feel love. It wasn't like that. It was like a business transaction.
How long did you live with them?
Until I was old enough to fend for myself, 15 or 14.
And so when you left that house, you decided to do what?
I knew I could provide for myself. I knew I could build what I needed to live. So I left.
And where did you go?
To the woods, to my home now. It's a cave. It's not very far away from where I grew up.
Did you ever stay in touch with them?
No.
Okay. And so you lived there now for about 20 years by yourself?
Yeah.
So let's go back to the tavern where you're listening to the conversations about their families. Do you engage in a conversation with any of them?
No. They are wary around me.
Why is that?
I'm off-putting because I'm shy, so I don't talk. My face doesn't look kind.
Is that what they say about you, or that's your perception of yourself?
That's what they say.
Is that how you feel inside, that you're not kind?
No. That's just how my face looks. It feels awkward to smile. I don't know how to. I'm really lonely.
And so what happens next?
And I finish my lunch and my beer and I get up and I go home.
And so I'd like you to see yourself standing in front of a place where you live now. Describe to me what it looks like.
It's a cave. I've built a door, a wall to wall it off so it's private. And there's a front door. It's made of logs. They're horizontal. It's not well built, but it does the job. The wall posts are dug in the ground and are leaning up against the face of like a rock outcropping. It's not really a cliff, it's not high, but water gets through the cracks when it rains down the stone and makes the front of the house muddy sometimes. I don't like it, but I don't know how to fix it.
How big is the cave?
It's not very big. It's 12 feet long.
So it's just one space?
One space. My bed's in the back of the cave. It's a pallet of furs. There's a fire pit or like a cook pit in the front. There's a table.
Does this cave keep you warm through the winter?
Sometimes. Sometimes it's really cold.
Did you ever think of building a more traditional house?
Yes.
Why didn't you?
I don't know if I can have the land.
Do you have to buy the land?
I don't know. I don't know who to ask. I don't want to look dumb.
Oh, I see. So do you have any friendly neighbors that you can talk to or ask if you need help?
There's an older lady that lives in a shack a while away, but she's not really a friend. She's just somebody that lives in the area. She likes to keep to herself.
So your cave is located next to the town that you go to?
Yes.
Are there other people that live around you?
Most of them live in town. I live further out than most people.
Now move to the next significant event in that life. Tell me what's going on.
The old lady has died. She was frozen to death. It was really cold. She died in her sleep, it looks like. I'm gonna do something with her body, but I can't bury it. The ground is hard. I'm gonna cover it in snow until I can bury it.
Did you find her?
Yeah.
Did you go to her place?
I did.
Why did you go there?
To check on her, because it was so cold. Make sure she was okay.
How old are you now?
I'm 36.
What happens next?
I look around her homestead and start thinking about what I can take for myself, or if her place is a better location. I decide that it is, and I move there and make my own home.
So tell me about her house.
It was a wood shack. It was very small. There was a bed raised off the ground, bolted to a wall. There's a fire pit, but that's really it. There's cooking stuff hanging on the wall. It's been neglected. She didn't keep up with the maintenance. It's rickety, like I could run into it and it would get knocked down.
The shack?
It was built with planks of wood, not logs, so it's not stable.
Are you planning to
I
do
take
anything?
it down. I rebuild a house for myself. I use logs for the walls. I use planks for the door and the roof, but I eventually regret doing it. And I reuse the wood for her house for things, for my new house.
Do you make it bigger?
I do. It's still one room, but there's a built-in bed off the ground.
Do you build it all by yourself?
Yes and no. I took the logs down. I hauled everything there myself. I built it myself, but I needed to ask a carpenter how. I didn't know how to join the boards.
So other than just asking for advice, you did everything else on your own?
Yes.
How long did it take you to build it?
A season.
And were you still living in the cave while you were building it?
When it was cold, but sometimes I made fires and just slept on the new homestead.
Is this place closer to town or about the same?
It's slightly closer.
So go to the time when the house is finished and tell me how you feel about it.
Satisfied. I'm happy. It's solid. It's good work. I took my time.
Does it protect you from the elements better?
It does. It doesn't leak. It's a dirt floor, but it's packed.
Is it still going to be cold?
The floor gets cold sometimes, but I eventually put deerskin rugs down. I eventually put the floor in.
Out of what?
Stone.
Where'd you get the stone?
The river. There's a river or creek that ran by the old lady's property that's now mine. I picked up rocks.
Like pebbles?
They're 2 feet long. They're long and thin. They crack easily, but they're fine in the floor. They don't crack in the floor.
How'd you hold them in place?
Dirt. I packed it. I knew there were other things to do to make it stable, but I didn't have the things. I used what I had. I just used dirt as a mortar. It works fine. I have to maintain it, but it's fine.
So is it a smooth surface or bumpy?
Slightly bumpy, like a rock floor would be. It's smooth river stone.
So as time goes by, do you get to interact with any people? Do you meet anyone new?
I made a friend with the carpenter when he taught me how to join the boards. He has women in his family that he wants me to meet, cousins.
So move to the time when that happens.
I'm nervous.
What's happening?
They invited me for dinner.
And who's there?
The carpenter, 2 women, and his wife. The carpenter and his 2 cousins, they live together.
What are their names?
I don't know.
What do they call you?
I don't know.
You'll just hear your name being called in a moment, and when you hear it, just let me know. So tell me how things are going.
They're happy. It's different. Jones.
Jones is your name?
They call me Jones. It's a surname, but I don't think that's my name.
And how do you feel talking to them?
Good. It's going well. Everybody's happy helping with dinner.
What's for dinner?
It's a roast of some kind with potatoes and onions. And they made some type of sweet bread that's like a dessert.
What are you talking about?
Harvest. We had a good harvest in the town. It's late summer. The windows are open. It feels cool in the house a little bit, but we got hot because of the food.
How do you like the women that you're meeting?
They're pretty. They're both nice. One likes me. She has brown hair.
Do you like her?
Yeah.
And what do you call her?
I don't know. The words aren't English.
You'll be able to say them in whatever your native tongue is.
Her name is Brockla.
And become aware what language you're speaking.
It's like German or something. It's harsh.
When you come to the end of that dinner, what are your intentions now?
I don't know what to do. I'm nervous and I'm thinking about it. And I ask her if she wants to gather berries in the forest later in the week. And she says yes.
That's a good sign.
I feel calm. When she said yes, it made me feel calm.
So move to later in the week when the two of you get together.
It's sunny. It's a nice day. We're flirting. I'm going to marry her. We both already know that we'll be together because we like each other, but there's not a lot of options for her.
What do you mean by that?
There's not a lot of men her age in town. We're both older, too old to get married. Everyone else that's single is young.
How old is she?
45.
And how old are you?
I'm 36.
So you're okay with her being that much older than you?
Yes.
So how does your walk through the woods go?
Well, we walk through and do more talking than gathering.
So do you find it easier to talk to her and maybe smile at her?
Yes.
Does anything else of significance happen on that day?
I think we make love.
And how does that feel?
Good. It feels like things are how they should be.
Are you planning to live in your little house?
No, she wants to stay in town. I do too. I want to move in town and be around people.
Would you need another place of your own?
No, she has a home.
I thought she lived with her cousin, the carpenter.
No, the carpenter lives with his wife and his cousin, the other woman that's there.
Oh, I see. So go ahead and move to the time when you get married or whatever next significant event happens in that life.
When we get married, it's small. It's just her family and one other person.
Who's the other person?
He's important. He's like a head of the town, but he's not religious. He's just the head of the town. When we get married, we're happy.
And so where do you live now?
In her house, but it's not like a standalone house. Houses are built right next to it. They share walls. It's more sophisticated than my cabin, but it's loud. You can hear people on the streets. I don't like it. I don't like the lack of privacy. I want to move and build us another house in town.
And what does she think about it?
She wants that too. We're saving to do it.
So do you still continue to do the same work?
A little bit, but I find odd jobs in town when I can, just with the skills I already know how to do. Building, repair. Sometimes I help people tan hides.
And does she do any work?
She sews.
So move forward a little bit in time, maybe 1 year, and tell me how things are going and if anything changed.
We're building our cabin. I took my cabin apart in the woods to use some of the lumber. It was very hard. And I'm tired. We're bickering. But the cabin is being built. Our house.
How big is it going to be?
It's almost 3 times as big as my cabin. It's 3 rooms. The big room, there's like a loft. And then there's a room off to the side.
Is anybody helping you?
She does. The carpenter does.
How long does it take you to build it?
We have to let it sit over the winter unfinished. We finish it next summer, a year.
And are you pleased with your new house?
Very happy. It's built very well. It's very snug. The carpenter knew what he was doing.
So this house is still in town, just standalone?
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of town. You could stand outside and yell and somebody would hear you.
Did you have to pay for any land, or it's just available to build on?
It was available. We didn't buy anything. It wasn't like that. They don't own the land in town. Only the fields are owned.
And how is your relationship with your wife?
It's good. She's mine. She's what I wanted.
In what way would you appreciate about her?
We provide companionship to each other, but don't dictate how the other lives.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the last day of that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
She died.
What happened to her?
She's old. She got sick.
How old are you now?
I'm 42. But that's old. People expect you to get sick and die. I feel like I'm done. There's no point to keep living.
Are you ill?
No.
So what happened?
I killed myself. I cut myself. It didn't hurt. It made me sleepy.
Where did you cut yourself?
My arm. I wasn't sad that she died. I knew she was going to. There's just nothing left to keep living for.
The 2 of you was your world.
Yes.
Did you cut both arms or just one?
Just one.
Which one?
I left one.
So just allow yourself to take that last breath and feel your soul gently lifting out of your body. As you float out of your body and you begin to understand the life that you left behind, what are your thoughts and feelings about this life?
I feel like I did what I was supposed to, but it took a long time.
What do you feel you were supposed to do?
Find a missing part of myself. Find family. Find a home.
As your spirit is lifting higher and higher, perhaps being drawn to the light, you may find that there is someone there waiting for you, greeting you. As you look around, just tell me if you see anyone there.
There's a man there.
Is he saying anything to you?
He's happy. He's laughing, hugging me.
And you will begin to grow in awareness about who this man is. You may recognize him.
It's my father.
He may take you on a little journey to help you review the life that you have just left. And tell me if there is any highlights that you gain from that review.
It's my fault I didn't find someone sooner. He's happy that I did, but he's showing me where I could have changed it and made it sooner by talking to people.
Were you always meant to connect with your wife?
Yes.
Good job. Allow all of those images to begin to fade away. As you begin to travel and find yourself descending once again down to the surface, will help you to find information that you issues to examine. I'd like you to tell me the first thing that you see below you, or the first impression that you get as you reach that surface.
Concrete.
And just look around you, see what's next to you.
I'm in a city. I have shiny shoes on. They're black.
And tell me what you're wearing on your body.
Slacks, button-up, shirt, some type of vest, overcoat. It's open, but I'm cold.
Are you in a male body?
Yes.
Are you young or old?
I'm younger. I'm in my 20s.
Is it cold outside?
Yeah,
Are you healthy?
I am.
And as you're standing there looking out at the city, what do you see?
Horses and buggies. The streets are cobbled.
Are you dressed well?
Yes.
Are you wearing anything on your head?
I have a hat on.
What does it look like?
It's like a top hat, but shorter.
And why are you standing there?
I was going somewhere.
Just become aware where you're heading.
I was going to the bank.
And why do you need to go to the bank?
I needed money.
For what?
A loan for a business.
What type of business?
It was shipping, but they said no.
So see yourself standing in front of the bank and tell me if you can see the name of the bank.
It just says bank. I feel like I'm in New York.
So see yourself talking to whoever you had the meeting with.
He's sleazy. I don't like him.
What do you tell him about your business?
I get flustered. I don't have a good plan. And I get embarrassed when he points it out.
What's your plan?
To buy ships, to travel along the coast for trading at the different ports, but I don't know how much things cost. I didn't put the plan together well.
Why's that?
I'm out of touch with how much things cost. Like, I don't know how much to pay a captain or sailors. There were guesses in the plan and they were wrong. It was much more than I thought.
Sounds like you didn't prepare well.
I didn't.
Is this your first attempt at starting a business?
Yes. I have money, but not a lot. I've never had to work. I have money somewhere saved, an inheritance. It's enough for me to live.
So tell me about your family or where your inheritance is from.
My mom died.
What about your father?
He's alive.
Tell me about your family.
I live with my dad. We don't get along very well. I avoid him. I'm not as manly as he wants me to be.
What does that mean?
I'm slender. I'm sensitive. I think I'm gay. I think he knows that.
Does he have to work?
He manages his estate. He has money. He has a lot of money. But it's not mine.
Why?
I don't deserve it. He doesn't think I deserve it.
Do you have siblings?
I have a brother, but he's not there. He's older. He lives his own life.
So if your father were to die, would the money go to the two of you?
I don't think so. I think it would just go to my brother. He doesn't give me money. He doesn't like that I live there. So I think that in his will, he just will give everything to my brother.
Do you get along with your brother?
I do.
And the estate that your father has, where is it?
We live in the city in a brownstone type of house. He has a country house that has fields like orchards or vineyards. He grows something there, and that's how he makes a living. It's family, money, generational.
So why did you decide to get into the shipping business?
I wanted to make my own living with the money that I have from my mother's death. I know I need to invest it and start something because I need to make a living.
So when that loan falls through, what do you decide to do next?
I don't know. I know I need to find someone more knowledgeable to help me, but I don't know where to go. I talked to my brother.
What does he say?
Supports me going out on my own, but he also doesn't know how to do it or what to do. He doesn't have the knowledge either.
How much money did you get from your mother?
Several $1,000s. It was split between me and my brother. It's a lot of money. It's enough to keep me comfortable in a home and pay for my necessities for at least half of my life. Maybe longer if I'm frugal.
So I'd like you to move to the next significant event in that life when you make a decision or take the next steps in this journey. And tell me what happens.
There's nothing.
Do you decide to pursue any other business opportunity?
I think I was going to. I think I died unexpectedly.
Okay, so let's back up. We're going to go to your last day in that life. See yourself there and tell me what happens.
I was visiting my brother. My niece had a birthday. I gave her a gift.
How old are you?
27. I was walking home, but didn't look across the street, and there was a horse and buggy, and the horse reared up and hit me in the head.
Do you die instantaneously, or?
Yes, it was so fast.
So as you rise out of your body, I want you to look back at what you left behind and tell me, what are the first thoughts and feelings that you get?
Disappointment, anguish. It was too soon. I wasn't done.
Did you accomplish anything that you wanted?
No, it was a waste.
Did you ever start any business at all?
No.
Did you investigate any opportunities or study anything?
Yes, I talked to people that had businesses, and talked to my brother. I bounced ideas off of him. He's smart, very smart with common sense, not book smart.
So were you making progress towards making a decision?
I think so. I think I was gathering knowledge, but I hadn't decided on one thing, but I knew what I had to account for more.
So as you continue to lift further, once again, you may find that you're greeted by someone. Just become aware.
My mother is there. She's in a dress. She has an apron on. Her hands are folded. Her hair's in a bun. She's smiling. She looks peaceful.
And what does she have to say to you?
She is happy to see me, but she feels sorry for me.
Why?
She doesn't think I would have succeeded.
If you continued?
She thinks I was too soft.
So as you continue to rise, we're going to find yourself in a beautiful healing space, and perhaps your mom can take you there. And this healing space is there for you to heal any trauma you experienced as a result of a traumatic death. And we'll address both deaths so that your body does not carry in its cellular memory the energy of those traumatic deaths. So I'd like you first to imagine your head where the horse kicked it being restored, the tissue, the bones, if they were damaged, being restored. Your head being filled with beautiful, healing, powerful light that simply regenerates and restores everything to its healthy state. Any dark energy that is there as a result of the trauma or damage simply begins to evaporate out of the body, being replaced by that beautiful, powerful healing light. Now tell me when that space feels healed and complete.
And it's healed.
Good. I'd like you to imagine that you're looking at your left arm, the arm where you cut yourself in the previous life. And I want you once again to see that left arm releasing any disturbed energy that represents the trauma, the pain. The arm begins to be filled with healing, powerful energy that reconnects the tissues, restores and regenerates. And let me know when that is complete.
It's healed.
Good. Is your mom still there?
No.
Okay. Begin to let go of all the images. Let them drift and float away. And I want all of the consciousness and personality of Alexandra to return and fully integrate back into the body. I'd like to ask to speak with Alexandra's higher consciousness. May I speak to you and ask you some questions?
Yes.
Thank you. Now I know that you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Alexandra to see today. And you chose to bring forward the lives of two men. So I'd like you to tell us why you picked those particular lives for her to review.
The first one was finding family.
Is that something that's important for her in this life?
Yes.
In what way?
Finding support. Building a base. She needs to build a base.
It almost sounds like in the second life she didn't have a lot of support from her father.
She had her brother.
So what is the significance of the second life?
To learn. She needs to know more before she makes decisions. Don't make impulsive decisions. Wait. Learn.
Why is that an issue for her in this life?
She's strongly impulse-driven.
Tell us what your purpose was for this particular lifetime as Alexandra.
Patience. Learning and then doing. Making a plan. Following through. She's failing.
What types of plans would you like her to make?
Education.
So is the purpose to experience follow-through or patience? I'm not very clear.
Follow through.
Okay. Is education one of the ways that she could follow through on a plan?
Yes.
Is that something that she can still complete?
Yes, but it's not necessary.
Okay. So it's not the education itself that she needed, it's the follow-through.
Correct.
What other areas can you point out where she can practice it?
Walking.
Just taking walks?
She hikes.
Is that something that is good for her to do?
Yes.
Is it about making a plan, or is it about just sort of a commitment to a decision?
Commitment to a decision. She said she needs to.
And what is it that is stopping her?
She gets lost.
So I'm struggling a little bit to understand the connection between the lives that you brought forth and the purpose in this life or the issues she's dealing with. So I'm wondering if in the second life she was in the process of making plans. She was in the process of figuring out her next step. And then that was cut short by this seeming accident. Did that impact her in a sense that she feels that if she makes plans, it can bring her to some sort of negative event?
No, she needs to do what he was supposed to do.
And what is it that he was supposed to do?
He was supposed to learn to take time to make an educated decision. He was supposed to learn about business, how to run a business, how to build a business. And he didn't get to complete that life. It ended and it was unfinished.
I want to ask you again, I understand that unless the soul decides that it's time to pull out of a physical life, the human can continue to live his or her life and work on their purpose. So was that not your decision to end that life at that time? And if it was, why did you end it so early if he had unfinished business?
It wasn't going to work.
Why not?
That person was weak. They couldn't have done it. He was not strong enough mentally. He was weak.
What was it about him that was weak? Can you be more specific?
He couldn't stand up for himself. He would let people run over him with decisions. He would have failed.
So that's why you decided that it was better to just end that experience?
Yes, he wasn't strong enough to do it. No decision in his life would have ever been his.
I see. So now Alexandra comes back and needs to pick up where he left off and learn to make educated decisions.
She needs to be strong. She can.
When you say strong, are you talking about standing up for your beliefs, making your own decisions, following through on your decisions? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, he didn't think for himself. He was told what to believe in and believed it. He didn't stand by his decisions. He wasn't strong enough to say no, to stand up and do what he wanted to do. He let other people run over him and dictate his life.
So if Alexandra in this life was able to accomplish what he didn't accomplish, what would that look like? What would she need to be able to do?
She already has. She sticks to decisions.
Because earlier you said she was failing. Are you taking that back?
No.
So what is she doing well and where is she failing?
She sticks to decisions. She's strong. Inside she's strong. In her chest she's strong. She feels it. She is succeeding there. She is not succeeding with being consistent.
Consistency in what?
She makes educated decisions but does not follow through and is not consistent with the things that go with it.
And so what can help her become more consistent?
She needs to control her impulses. Her impulses break her consistency.
Okay. Alexandra has a kind of an inner voice that keeps telling her that she needs to follow specific routines in life, and that's what will bring her a sense of happiness or satisfaction. Can you tell her where that voice is coming from and if there's validity to that adherence to routines as a path to happiness?
It's me. If she has the routine and sticks with it, it will help her follow through with her commitments, her plans. It's not something that she has to do forever. It's something she has to do to start.
So if the issue is follow through on her decisions, would it help her to choose something that's significant enough to follow through, or does it have to be routine about everything?
I don't understand.
So if you fill your life and make it completely routine, it can make her life very regimented, but I don't know if it would necessarily bring her to the outcome that you want her to have. So is it important for her to select a goal and then create routines for that specific goal?
Her life shouldn't be routine. She needs it in the mornings. She's water you're trying to put in a bucket with your hands. Needs to be contained to flow properly. She needs to work towards a goal, but to do that she needs to be centered, aware, doing specific things in the morning help her with becoming centered.
Okay. So is there any particular goal that you would suggest that she work on?
She needs to center herself by walking, being outside in nature, meditating, thinking away from people, electronics, everything.
And is centering going to help her be more connected with you?
Yes.
So centering is one of the goals that she can begin to build routines around to accomplish that?
Yes, she needs centered to succeed.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there another goal that you can point out to her?
No, she can't do anything else until she does center. Everything will fail if she doesn't.
Okay, so she has been dealing with some sadness and anxiety, and I'm wondering if her not feeling centered and her childhood experiences are contributing to that.
It's because she's not centered. She's trying to find it elsewhere, and it's not there. That's not what she's supposed to be doing. She's going down the wrong path to find it.
So feeling centered would help her find more joy and more...
It would prevent her from doing negative things and help her make decisions.
Good. Now, she wants to meditate more and do it more effectively. There are things that I can share with her, but I wanted to ask you if you can give her any guidance on how to do that better.
She has to be alone. She has nervousness, anxiety from her childhood that prevents her from fully relaxing around other people. So she only ever feels centered, alone.
And how can she quiet her mind best?
By being alone, laying down, being comfortable.
Can she walk and center her mind as well when she walks by herself?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now she wants to understand her relationship with her parents. She had a challenging childhood. And I wonder if you can help her understand the value of those childhood experiences and what soul agreement you had with the souls of her parents coming into this life.
It built her, made her compassionate. The father ignored her. The mother gave her half love.
Why was that significant in this life?
She learned to communicate because of her father's silence.
Is that significant to her purpose?
Yes. She has to know how to communicate.
So can she see their contribution as an energetic gift that they gave to her in this life?
It was hard, but it was needed. It was successful. That's what it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it hurt.
Can you help her now sever those energetic cords that run between her and her parents? The cords that are still holding on to her heart. Severing them will not cut them off from each other. It will just release the negative energetic pull that they have on each other. Alexandra, can I imagine just cutting those cords? Just like cutting the ropes that are holding a ship tied to the pier. When you cut them, the ship can begin to sail away. And as Alexandra takes a deep breath, she's going to feel this new sense of freedom and release. Those experiences that were there in her life were selected for a reason and they were significant, but the lessons are over. And she's free to walk away. How is that feeling right now?
It feels peaceful, but the emotions are still there.
So that emotional work can continue to take place. Continue to keep that peaceful feeling. I'd like to ask you now to do a body scan and point out anything that needs attention, that's out of balance.
The breathing. She doesn't breathe right. She takes shallow breaths.
And what does it do to her?
Minimizes the amount of oxygen that goes in her body. It's not healthy.
So what can be done about that?
She needs to be more conscious about her breath. The chest is tight.
Is it in the center of the chest?
From the back of the throat to the breast.
Breastbone?
Yes.
So can you help her open it up right now and release the tightness? And tell me what you're doing.
I breathe in like normal, but the exhale is different. It feels fuller. It feels like she's exhaling something.
Good. Was there something that was being held there?
Yes, there still is.
Can you continue working on that? And while you're doing that, continue the scan.
There's nothing. There's nothing else.
Okay. So now she has some potential conditions that she is concerned about. So I want you to address those for her. She broke her left leg about a year ago. Is there anything that is still needing to be repaired?
It's not healed. She needs to be patient.
Can you see what needs to be done to expedite the healing?
The bone's dented. It needs more blood.
And can you take care of it now?
No.
What needs to happen?
It needs to be moved more.
Does she need to move more, or the bone needs to be moved?
She needs to move more. She needs to bend her leg more.
So if she moves the leg more, it will heal faster?
Yes.
Was she concerned before about moving her leg too much?
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying it is safe for her to walk and bend?
Yes.
All right, good. And then she has acid reflux, and she's concerned about potential genetic things that are in her family. Should that be a concern for her?
No.
So she's healthy.
Healthy.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, so before I let you go, I'd like to give you an opportunity to give one last direct message to Alexandra for today.
She needs to meditate. She needs to listen to herself more. If she isn't centered, she won't make the right decisions.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask now the higher consciousness to recede to where it belongs, with much love and thanks for the help and information it has given Alexandra today. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you click on the bell, you will be notified of any of my future postings. Thank you. Bye.